What's up, everybody? Welcome to Production Music Live. My name is Guido. I am from Cat and Beats, and today we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be talking about tonal balance control, and we're going to be talking about referencing. But the fun part is I am going to be setting up a challenge, and I would like for you to follow along. But first, what is tonal balance control and what is referencing? Well, referencing is when you have your production finished, what you want to do is reference another song. That basically means compare it to another song that is in the same genre and in the same style as yours, but it's professionally released. And the reason why you do that is to just kind of check out how are the levels, how is my high end in comparison? How are my claps panned out? How is my low end? Is the whole track really snappy? Like, does it go gak, 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 or does it go like tish, tish, tish? So, how is it in comparison? Do I feel like I need to adjust it, yes or no? That's how you do referencing. And in tonal balance control, what that is, it kind of helps you out. It looks like this, and what it does is it splits the band ups into low, mid, and high, and it will give you a little line in between, and it'll say like, listen, you're doing a great job, but your low end is way out of whack and your high end doesn't exist, for instance. So that's how tonal balance control helps, and I'll show you how to do all these little like tweaking things and how to make a custom custom target curve as well, so that it's not just bass heavy but something else. But before we get to that fun geeky stuff, let's get into the real fun geeky stuff where I like to be. And that is, we are going to be comparing the Production Music Live Joris Foreign style Ableton template versus the actual Joris Foreign tracks. All right, so that's a perfect example of there's a track here, and then these are the professional release tracks. Let's see how it stacks up together. It should be fun. So the way I like to do things is I hate my mouse, so I like setting it up with the keyboard. And the reason why I don't like my mouse is because I first have to look where I have to click, and this sets me up so I don't have to look and I just have to focus on listening. And the challenge part, by the way, is we're going to listen together, and I want you to write down or remember what the main differences are, and then we're going to see if with tonal balance control, if we're right or if we're wrong. So let's see, it should be fun. So let's set up first. So if you have your own project file, drag and drop in 1 or 2 or 3 reference tracks that you like, and just select them. And so you hold down Control or Command, and then you press Group. So Command G or Control D, then you've grouped it. Then you also rename it, obviously, to a reference. If you want to rename it as Command R or Control R, whatever. Here's the fun part. Press Command K or Control K, or press the key button, and you shall now do key things. So we're going to go in the reference group, and we're going to press number 1 on solo. I'm going to go in the master group and press number 1 on all your mastering plugins. Okay, so for instance, this is the mastering chain. If you don't feel like grouping your mastering chain, just, go along EQA, your limiter, your compressor, whatever is on your master, just make sure you turn it off. All right. Oops. Now, we also need to make some toggle switches to turn on and off. So I'm just going to use the QWE here. And that's it. So now I can turn on each individual track. I'm going to turn this one off, and at the same time, when I press play, I can turn in between both of them without affecting the level. Now trust me, you're going to probably mess this up, and you're going to have like a limiter on your limiter, and it's going to go blah. So don't worry, you'll figure it out. So let's have a little listen to the Production Music Live track. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, and what I want you to do is, I'm going to be skipping in between. What I want you to do is listen for how the EQ sounds. So anything that comes first in your mind, you just say it out loud, and then we'll see what happens. All right. So let's have a listen. So this is the Production Music Live track. Now we're going to go to the reference. Ready? Comes up in your mind. Skip Okay, so I'll tell you what the first thing is that comes up in my mind. Is that the tracks of the reference song are extremely high. So basically it looks like this. So in an EQ curve, it almost looks like the references are way more focused up here. And they have a little dip here. Like it seems like this. It seems like it's a little bit like this. And with Production Music Live, it almost seems like the other way around. So let me just go like this for a second because I don't know where that button is. It almost seems like it's like this. So there's a bump in the low end and there's a cut somewhere over here. So it seems flipped. So we should actually, now that we know that, if we want to sound more like the reference track, you don't have to sound like the reference track, by the way, but if you want to sound more like reference track, we're going to have to flip the EQ so that we have more top end and a little bit less low end in comparison. And then this is what I would think. So let's see if tonal balance control does the same thing. I hope so, because I'm not really sure. So let's open tonal balance control up. And normally tonal balance control comes with this little target curve. So you can go bass heavy, modern, or orchestral. Now, I do not suggest using this. I suggest you immediately go to the custom curve and be a pro at using tonal balance control. So let's just click on custom curve. Oops. Let's create a custom curve first. And I'm going to go to where I saved my my target curves. So let's just go to my desktop and I have my custom folder, and these are the tracks that were delivered. So I'm going to click open on them. And now you see this little thinking thing. It's making a custom curve. And it's a huge custom curve. So what we need to look for is that the white line should be somewhere here in between. Okay? Somewhere in the middle. Then we should be good. So let's have a listen. So you can see that the bass is quite heavy. The low mid sounds good. The high mid doesn't really, it's not really there. And the highs aren't really there either. See, now the low is really way over the top. Ooh, high mid's going down even further. That's pretty much exactly like what we said, right? You said the same thing, I hope. So that's one thing. So that's how you would do a custom curve. But I find these custom curves, it's too broad. It's just too big. So what I like doing, instead of using tonal balance control like that, what I like to do is I take that, I basically took the audio tracks and I put them so that they're at the drop section. What I normally do is I only compare the drop section, and I take this, I just kind of select it like that, and then I move with my little handshaker thing, go right click and Command J, consolidate. So what you do is you consolidate it. And once you've consolidated it, you need to find it in your group. And what I've done is I'm going to be creating a custom curve specifically on this drop, because this, oh no! Because this program likes to crash. Anyway, let's fuck! Tom, you're So what I'd like to do is just select this little part, move it around with my little hand, and then go to Command J to consolidate it, and then you consolidate it and move them again to a custom little folder. And what this will do is set up your tonal balance control so that you can make a custom target curve that is a lot more close to what you need to be. So let's just go to the custom target curve. So let's just create the custom target curve from where I saved it. And that is the drops. So these are all the drops that I saved. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to create a much more specific target curve in comparison to what was given before. So I would highly suggest doing this instead. So now let's have a comparison again between these two visually. And you can really see that the low mid are it's out of whack, you see? So the low and the low mid are really high, and the high mid and the highs are really, really low in comparison to the custom target curve. So therefore, what I would suggest from finding this out, is that we go into here and you just move up this part, you turn down that, you start adjusting the curve. But obviously, it really also depends. Do you want to sound like the reference that dead on? So that's one thing. Now you can go even more specific, obviously, and you can click on to fine as well. And then you can see how the curve looks exactly in a fine print. You can see that we're a little bit out of whack here in this area. Quite out of whack there and completely out of whack here. But what you can do is you can hold down Alt. When you hold down Alt, you can actually select in between the track to see where do I need to boost. So here you need to boost. Let's see what's up here. That's just the hi-hat. Okay, great. Let's see what's up here. That's that clap that's a little bit lacking. Let's see what's up here that we need to turn down. That's the lead. So you can actually go back into your mix and even turn down the lead to just get an EQ cut right there. Turn up your highs a little bit. And what I think is the biggest trick of Joris Voorn, just by listening to it, I am almost 100% sure he just used a compressor as follows. So I'm just going to show you quickly. And he used the compressor and set up this EQ curve so that there's an internal sidechain. So you're basically leaving the low end alone and cutting, like putting the threshold down, slow attack, fast release, usual. And he turned up pretty much everything from around 150 hertz. I'm just, quickly thinking that because it would really explain the really snappy top end that's happening, because there's this like guts, and with the Production Music Live project it's more like which is really chill. And to be honest, I prefer this quite a lot, but if we have to really reference it, then I would personally mix it different and master it different. By the way, if you're interested in watching a mixing and mastering project, then check out the Production Music Live course I did for Production Music Live, where I took one of their tracks and I remixed and mastered it, and I screen recorded the whole process. Anyway, long story short, that is tonal balance control in a nutshell, and that is how I suggest you use it. There's also something called a crest value up here, and that's specifically for the low end. And what this does is it shows how heavily compressed your low end is. The more to the right it is, the more square it is, the more of a sausage it is. And the more to the left it is, the more relaxed it is. So it might be too dynamic according to tonal balance control. But take the tonal balance control with a grain of salt. To be honest, I do highly suggest that you just set up your keyboard and you use your ears and you write down what you think is wrong, and then use tonal balance control as a little reference to the reference to see visually, is it really what I'm hearing, or are my speakers maybe set up correct? Okay, that's it. I think I talked for enough time now. Much love. My name was Guido from Cat and Beats. Will be lovely to see you over there as well. Leave a like, leave comments. I always get back to you guys, and take care. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.